Anna Nordqvist is a major champ once again. And it wasn't easy bringing it home.
2017 has been a little bit of a roller coaster year for me. And even though it's been quite a bit of struggle, I'm really proud of myself for the way I've been fighting through things and where I'm at today.
2017 will live long in the memory for Anna Nordqvist. The Swede claimed her second major title just 2 months after being bedridden with a potentially season-ending illness.
US Open was obviously a goal for me this year, coming so close last year, and showing up there, and I was so sick. I couldn't barely sleep Saturday night or Sunday night. I was sitting up sleeping because I was coughing so bad. My throat was hurting. It was like knives in my throat and just feeling really bad. So I knew something was going on, but I just couldn't expect it to be mono. And when that happened, I've heard a lot of stories, and I know it's a serious thing, and if you push too much too early, it can hunt you down for many, many months. So I was trying to be really careful. I had a lot of people in my team that kind of helped me pace myself, and I got a lot of rest, but it's just nothing you can do, and it's a little bit heartbreaking for me because I love practicing and I love showing up prepared for tournaments. So it was definitely a different experience, but fought through it, but I still feel like my health needs to get better, and that's my main goal for coming into this off-season.
The illness put Nordqvist's participation in the Solheim Cup in doubt. With her golfing idol captaining the side, it was one she didn't want to miss.
Ever since I knew Annika would be captain, it would be a dream come true playing under her. She was a role model for me growing up. And when I found out that I had mono, Solheim Cup was the first thing I thought about. Ended up taking it really easy, and I knew that I had to try to play something before in order to see if I was ready for the Solheim Cup, because I don't feel like it was fair to my team to tee it up with not being able to play. So fought through British Open. Don't know how I made it through 72 holes that week because I could barely walk up a hill without getting out of breath. So finished 7th at the British Open and felt like I was in decent shape going into the Solheim Cup. There was no way I could play 2 matches in a row, so I told Annika to sit me out for the afternoon match on Friday because there was no way I was going to be able to play that. So it was tough, but I'm proud of myself, and played really, really well. So I think it was a lot of willpower and a lot of determination.
Although the Europeans struggled, Nordqvist won all 3 of her matches on the opening 2 days, despite not being 100%. It looked like that would become 4 points when she led Lexi Thompson by 4 holes at the turn of their singles match. The American, though, played the next 7 holes in 8 under to lead going up the 18th. With Thompson safely on the green in 2, it needed something special from Nordqvist to remain undefeated.
I definitely think that's probably one of the best shots in my career. I mean, I knew what I had to do, and just to pull it off, it was such an amazing shot. I never left the pin and kind of walked up early because I knew it was good, and found myself in a lot of half yardages during that match. But then I had the perfect yardage on the last hole with my 8-iron there. I can't remember how far it was. It was 150 or 152 or 3 yards. So just a perfect shot at the perfect time. So it'll definitely be one of the shots I'll look back at my career and I'm going to remember for a long time.
A month on from the Solheim Cup, Nordqvist was at the Evian Golf Resort for the final major of the season. The Swede found herself 5 shots back going into the final round, a similar position to last year's US Open where she forced her way into a playoff.
Going into Sunday, I just tried to keep my head down and, play my game. I think the experience at US Open really helped me. I don't know how many shots I was back going into Sunday. Ended up shooting I think 5 under at the US Open last year and putting myself in a position to win. So I think that experience kind of helped me that, if you're within decent distance, you never know. But going into Sunday, winning never really was never really something I focused on. I tried to, you know, play my game and post as good as the numbers as I could. Started to get really hot, like birdie 12 and then birdie 14 and eagle 15. Then I realized that I had a chance. So I'm just really proud of myself for, you know, keeping my head up.
A final round 66 left Nordqvist as clubhouse leader at 5 under. With the rest of the field struggling in worsening conditions, only Brittany Altomare could equal that to set up a playoff between the two.
The playoff is probably the most horrible conditions I've ever played in. I felt like I hit a good drive. I think it went 200 yards. The rough was really thick, everything was wet. You know, my ring gear was soaked. Standing in the fairway, I'm gonna hit the third shot and, you know, I'm finding myself with, I'm gonna play 2 clubs or 3 clubs of wind. It's hailing. My caddy is not giving me the number because he thought they were gonna call the play. And we see her kind of getting ready to hit a shot and we're like, okay, it's time to get a good number. I missed the green. It's kind of a tougher green. I know it's a par 4, but the way it was playing on Sunday, it was playing more like a par 5. Found myself in actually a good spot for my chip shot. It was hard to be left of it because you had the wind going left to right and the slope. So hit an amazing chip shot to about 5 feet. And at that point I was so cold and I couldn't feel my hands. So it was more about feeling my hands and trying to stay dry, which was pretty impossible. But had a little bit of a break on my putt, but just hit a great putt. And I think everyone's seen my emotions when the last putt dropped, and it's kind of summed up how I felt and how emotional that win really was for me.
Having won her first major as a professional back in 2009, it took Nordqvist another 38 attempts to claim her second. This victory felt even sweeter after she missed out on last year's US Open title after being handed a controversial 2-shot penalty in a playoff.
Well, I've been fighting for it for so long. You know, I made sacrifices, I made some hard decisions along the way, and I really matured as a golfer. And just knowing that, being close a little bit in the past, and just knowing how bad I really wanted and for actually to really happen, especially considering all the struggles I had this year, just made it, I think, even more special. And, you know, I was still shaking for about 45 minutes after. I was cold, but also, you know, it was just too good to be true.